Welcome back, everybody, to our interview with Wally Fox. Wally, why did you finally decide to stop racing?
At the time I stopped racing, I had 3 girls. My oldest one was, I think, probably around 12 years old. And we were working on the race car, me and a couple of my pitmen in the shop. And she come out and wanted me to do something with the 3 girls. And I told her I didn't have time right then. I would do it later. I had to work on a race car. Mm-hmm. Later on that afternoon, early evening, I heard her tell her mother that she was disappointed because Dad had time to work on a race car, but he didn't have time to spend with the kids.
So that really struck a chord with you.
That was towards the end of the year that year, and it hit me hard, and
decided to finish that year up and then
that was it.
Spend more time with family.
Right, and I did. And then, many years later, I went back a little bit when my son Cody was racing, and
things are a little different then, though, when you get up to that age. You know, when your kids are young, spending time with them, that's a huge sacrifice you have to make to be able to race.
Yes, it is.
Yep. So you decided it was just time to spend more time with family.
Exactly. I could read the handwriting on the wall when I heard my daughter say something like that to her mother.
Yeah, it's kind of heart-wrenching.
It hit me in the heart. Yeah, okay. And I said that was it. As much as I loved racing, as much as I had fun racing, and I did feel I did very good racing, you know.
Now, your son Cody, what's the story with his birth?
It's kind of funny. We were at the Hibbing racetrack racing, and somebody called down from the grandstand, and somebody come running over to me and said, you got to go up to the grandstand. Your wife is they're taking your wife to the hospital. Well, I didn't know if she got hurt, or I knew she was about due. I went up there, and they were just taking her out in a car to the hospital because she thought she was ready to have the baby. Well, we went over to the hospital quick. They checked her out and said, no, it isn't going to come now. So back to the track.
So it appeared to be a false alarm.
So, yeah, it was a false alarm. So we got there real quick, back, and by the time I got back in the pits, it was time for the feature. I jumped in my car, and I happened to win the feature that night. Whether it was luck or whatever, I don't know, or whether my adrenaline was really pumped or whatever. And then I think it was 3 days later, my boy Cody was born here in Rapids. So,
did you have any help from other like pitmen? Or sponsors during your career? Yes,
I did. I had 2 super good sponsors, Hoxton Cement Products and Don Larson from Olin Power Pole, and a lot of good friends and some very good pitmen. Mm-hmm. You know, my younger brother Ray, he was with me from day one, although he was just a little more or less a snot-nosed kid. And in fact, I had to get special
like a waiver or something to get him in the pits?
From my dad to even take him to the track. But he was a super good help all the time. Marv Wallin was a good friend of mine. He was another good one. Art Franson worked on my engines for quite a while. I had a cousin, Lyle Fox and George Fox that helped me a little bit here and there. And I just never had any problems finding people to help.
So you had a pretty dedicated pit crew.
Yeah.
And that helps tremendously.
Yeah. And
other than driving, have you had any involvement with racing, the sport of racing, other than being a race car driver?
Not until here a few years back when I bought the Mod 4 and completely rebuilt it, and Cody had bought a Mod 4 a year before that. And so I got back into it just mainly to race with my boy. And so I got elected president of the association.
Over here in Grand Rapids?
In Grand Rapids.
Okay. And that would have been early 2000s, I think, somewhere around there.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that went, pretty good, but I only did it 1 year, and that was enough. I wanted to,
It's a lot of thankless work.
It takes too much time.
It does.
Yeah. A lot of thankless work.
A lot of people like to complain about racetracks and people are on it.
Also, I did for 2 years. I did grading on the Rapids track.
Okay, so you put in your share of time keeping a program alive.
Right.
But yeah, it's a lot of thankless work, and people are always complaining. Well,
Yes.
Some people are, but you know what? You need somebody there doing, because if nobody was there, you wouldn't have a show.
Exactly. You got to have the people that are willing to work at it.
Yep.
And
Yep.
then those are just willing to show up.
Yep. So are you currently involved in racing at all today?
No, not at all. I do a little building of street rods and rat rods.
So once your boy quit racing, then is when you kind of stopped going to the
Yeah,
race. You
yeah.
do once in a great while, though, don't you?
I do once in a great while. We go to the race. Cody goes quite often.
Okay.
I like to go to the shootout, and we go down to Wisconsin over there where they race the Outlaws.
Cedar Lake.
Cedar Lake.
Okay.
We go to Cedar Lake once, twice a summer, and I love going there.
And you like to go to the Hibbing Labor Day shootout.
I like to go to Hibbing Labor Day shootout.
But that conflicts with that Mattawa Rat Rod show.
Right.
So you're
Now,
kind of torn
last year
between
I
those.
did get to the shootout one night, which I appreciate it, and I will this year again too. I'll go to Mattawa one day and in the shootout one day.
That's a
the
pretty
last year.
good
Yeah.
priority delegation.
It is. Because I enjoy both of them so much, you know.
How does racing today compare to racing back when you raced in your heyday?
It doesn't.
It doesn't compare. What do you mean?
I don't
what do you mean
think.
by that?
And what I mean in that is back in the 70s when we raced, I think we had a lot more fun. I think people got along a lot better. I think racing nowadays is more about money than it was then. Back then, you didn't worry about money back then. I mean, and stuff. It costs so much to race nowadays that
Taking the fun out of
it's
it.
taking the fun out of it.
A lot more camaraderie back
Yeah.
in the day. You know. So what are your interests then these days? The just the rat rod, hot rod stuff?
Yeah,
is
yeah.
what you like
I
doing?
just, you know, I fished and hunted a lot when I was a young man, and I quit fishing many years ago, and I haven't hunted the last few years, but I enjoy coming out here. I go to Arkansas. I got some good friends in Arkansas. I go down there. I have brought back quite a few older pickups and stuff from Arkansas, and did a little fix up on them and resold them.
So your whole life you've been around
yeah.
cars in one way or another?
Yeah, I said, I can say probably since I was about 10 or 11 years old is when I, really got the interest.
Got the bug?
Yep.
Now, your son Cody, like we said, used to race.
Yep.
He ran mod or B mods.
He ran
mod
4 and then B mod.
Did he run super stocks at all?
No, he ran mine a couple of times when I had that.
Okay.
When I went on vacation.
Yep. So I'm assuming you helped him and pitted for him and whatnot. Did you enjoy doing that?
I did.
Yep.
I did. Yeah. I enjoy working with Cody. I enjoy doing things with him. With any of my kids, whatever I do, I enjoy.
Did you enjoy driving yourself more, or did you enjoy helping Cody as a pitman more?
I have to honestly say I like driving.
You like the adrenaline rush of driving.
That was number one.
Did you get more nervous watching your son race?
I got nervous watching my son. I never got nervous when I drove, but I did. I got very nervous with my son driving. I don't know if that's natural or
I'm
whatever.
pretty sure it is. Yeah.
But
well, before we go today, is there anything that you might want to say to anybody that's watching this video? Or
well, I would just like to thank the people that helped me through my racing career, and the fans I had were just unbelievable. And still today, like I mentioned earlier, I still have people come up, and if they hear my name and ask me if I'm the Wally Fox that drove the Snoopy car, and maybe that shouldn't mean anything to anybody or to some people, but it does to me.
Well, that's good to hear.
Yeah, it kind of puffs you up a little bit or something
definitely.
to feel that you weren't just out there having a good time. People remember it.
Yep. All right. Well, Wally, I really appreciate you sitting down and doing this interview with us. Good luck on the rest of your recovery from your health issues, but you're getting much better. And hopefully maybe this summer, Labor Day maybe at the shootout, we'll see you at the track.
You probably will.
All right. Thank you, Wally.
If the good Lord willing.
Yeah, bye-bye.